So, good morning, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. My name is Garima, and I'll be your sergeant at arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all to 120th meeting of Speakers Squad Toastmaster Club. Before starting the meeting, I would like to mention three ground rules which we follow in our Toastmaster meeting. So, rule number one, we don't talk about sex, religion, politics, and so please refrain from discussing these topics. And rule number two, put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. Rule number three, turn off your video if you're stepping out of the meeting. Now, as everybody in their life has a mission to achieve their goal, our Toastmaster Club also has a mission. The mission of our Toastmaster is to provide an environment which is supportive and positive learning, in which every member has an opportunity to develop their communication and leadership skill, which in turn foster the self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I would like to announce meeting open, and I would like to invite our presiding officer for today, who's proxy. And we have presiding officer TM Ramesh. TM Ramesh, quickly introducing him. So he's from Namakkal, Tamil Nadu. He's a government technician at Lifestyle International Private Limited. His hobbies includes sports and networking. Ramesh is inspired by Ratan Tata, and his favorite quote is "Never give up." So he's also a fan of Rajnikant. By the way, this is an interesting fact I got to know about it. So please welcome TM Ramesh, presiding officer, TM Ramesh. Over to you, TM Ramesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Garima. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, I'm going to be your presiding officer. So, Toastmasters, why we have joined into Toastmasters? So, I would like to start with one small story. One company was running very badly. They didn't get their profit properly. So, for that, what they have decided, they decided to change their excom. The boss decided to remove the existing excom and they wanted to recruit a new team for the company. So while relieving the existing XCOM team, they have given a 3 envelopes to the new XCOM, and they have told that whenever you are facing a problem, whenever you don't have an idea to overcome, use this envelope one by one. So after 3 months, they tried their level best. They couldn't achieve the target. Then they decided that let them open one envelope. Then open that, they could see that in the previous XCOM, they told that you just blame on us because of us only you couldn't achieve it. On top of that, they went to the boss and they told that the early team, they didn't perform well. They done many mess ups, so we need some more time to clean up. So boss agreed. So after 6 months, again, they couldn't get the profit. This time, the boss himself called them and asked them why you couldn't achieve the target. This time they told that we don't have idea, we'll come back next day. So next day they went and they opened the envelope and they could see one word in that: reorganize. Okay, fine. So it went on. So after 1 year, the board meeting, all the board members, boss, owners, everyone were there actually. So they were asking the question. Still, after at least 1 year over, still you couldn't achieve any target. You couldn't improve financial status of the company. What is your action plan? And then they said like, yes sir, we are working on it. Give me a time. We'll let you know tomorrow. So next day they went and they have seen the envelope. In that, they have written very clearly, be ready to make 3 more envelopes. So this was a statement given by the XCOM team. This means when a person you are not ready to find yourself what goes wrong, you are depending on others, definitely you cannot improve yourself. When you are deciding to improve yourself, then only you will improve everything. With that quote, I would like to say the meeting is on. So as a Toastmasters, we gather here each week to work on ourselves. So to be better speaker, listener, and leader. So like Toastmaster International mission is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. So we gather here each week to empower individuals through personal and professional development. Today is our biggest day. Today we have our club open house with our guest, Mr. Toastmaster Rajesh. So we are going to have a great session. Before that, I would like to give you one announcement that within 2 weeks, we are going to have our club contest. Most of our club members have shown their interest. Few of us still yet to fill their form. come forward and fill your form, be a part of a contest. It's going to be a first academic year contest. It's going to be better chance for you to go to the next level, area level, as well as district level. So use the opportunity and come forward to be a part of a contest as well. So with that, I would like to invite the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ritika. Toastmaster Ritika, what to say? She's the one person I knew in the beginning of my career. Whenever she felt that thing is wrong, she will not see her face, others' face. She'll tell that you are going wrong in such direction. You have to correct then and there. So that one statement made me to become a VP education, to become a better peer today. She's a woman of many talents. She's a talented gardener, a skilled musician, a meticulous housekeeper. She's also a dedicated employee at Citibank, where she's an AVP. So whenever we need a loan, people can reach Ritika. So definitely she'll provide a loan. Her favorite authors are Nora Roberts and Jeffrey Archer. Please welcome Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramesh. Good morning, everybody. Before we start, let's give a big round of applause to ourselves for turning up on a Saturday morning. It's beautiful weather outside, but we still chose to enjoy it with Toastmasters. Well done and welcome to this very, very special session. It's not a session that we have every week. It is an open house session. Now, what is an open house? This is an initiative by Toastmasters International to actually open our doors broad and wide for new members to join us. Speaker Squad is a community club and our strength lies with our members. So why not increase our tribe, increase our community by having an open house? For all those who are still new to Toastmasters, Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization. It was started by Dr. Ralph C. Smedley back in 1924. We are a global community. We exist across 144 countries with 14,700 plus member clubs. Our headquarters lies in Colorado, USA. Now, this Toastmasters International had very humble beginnings. It started in YMCA club, very small club, few men around a table, just having a good chat, having a good drink. And just then, Ralph C. Smedley noticed another member giving a toast. Somehow, he didn't feel that it was done well. So he thought, no, let me start teaching people how to do it right. He started off with 2, 3 men, few more joined. And when those people who joined reaped the benefits of actually communicating effectively, precisely, timely, that's when Toastmasters became popular and it became what it is right now. So, with no further delay, let me quickly say what's in store for us today. A lot, actually. We have a very, very seasoned Toastmaster among all of us today who is going to talk about Toastmasters, who's going to talk about XYZ because he hasn't shared his script with me. But all we can do is look forward to his session because it's going to really motivate us, followed by a very, very fun segment that is a table topic section. If we are not familiar with it, we will get familiarized with it. If we already know about it, then come on, we need a lot of volunteers for that. So, are we ready to start with our session today? An open house. Let's unmute ourselves and make some noise. We are just 9 of us.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Let's go for it. Let me now welcome our keynote speaker. Now, he is someone I already know through Toastmasters, and that's what Toastmasters does. It makes us meet such wonderful gem of a person that Rajesh is. But a formal introduction has to go by. So, Rajesh Satyavada, an electronics engineer by profession at Intel, and only 122 months young at Toastmasters. During his journey, he has completed various communication and leadership milestones. He has served as area director for the term 2017-2018. Currently, storytelling is one area Rajesh intends to focus and he strongly feels a storytelling is the greatest power one can have to connect with the audience. We can't wait to hear your story, Toastmaster Rajesh. With that, over to you, Toastmaster Rajesh.
Thank you, Ritika, for such a warm introduction. And now I feel old, though I am old. Honestly, the storytelling idea was something that our Sergeant at Arms and the presiding officer, both of them have set context with. They've showed stories and they've kind of hooked us to the meeting already. Now, with all the excitement, I would request all of you to keep your microphones unmuted. Let us defy the first rule our Sergeant at Arms has mentioned. Are we game for that? At least two, three? Yes, great. Now, for the next 20,
Yes.
25 minutes, what I would do is share two stories, and each of the story would kind of bring out what I learned and what you all can learn at Toastmasters. Now, look at it as a web series with only 2 episodes. Now, before I mention the title, the moment you hear the title, I would like to hear an applause so that I can get started with my story. Is that game? So, episode 1, The Curious Case of Coffee with Raja. The Curious Case of Coffee with Raja. Quite some time back, maybe around 8 or 9 years ago, I realized that I was in a soup. Now, this soup wasn't that tasty. This was kind of a soup where I wanted to get out and run away from. I pondered why this happened. So, going back 122 months, there was a meeting set up where they said, Rajesh, there is samosa and chai and coffee being served. Now, given that I'm a typical South Indian boy, samosa or chai did not interest me. It was the coffee because I was introduced to filter coffee at the age of 8. And by the age of 15, I could understand what kind of percentage of chicory coffee mixture would give you the perfect blend of filter coffee in the morning. And today at home, I have 7 or 8 varieties of coffee that I can talk you through. You can spend an entire day with me. All I could do is talk about coffee with you and hear and give you a good filter coffee. So, with the filter coffee on my mind, I walked into the room and a gentleman asked me, Rajesh, coffee or tea? Coffee or tea, Rajesh? And I said, I would like to have my coffee strong with milk and 2 spoons of sugar. Gentleman on the other side looked at me and laughed. Rajesh, no, I'm not offering you coffee or tea. I'm asking you to speak on coffee or tea. So this was me for the next 60 seconds. I was speechless. I froze while people were looking at me. I didn't know what to say. I was unprepared. For folks who are wondering what happened, this was an impromptu speaking session or table topic session. The topic was coffee or tea, and I had nothing to say. While the timer showed the green flag, I quietly walked off the stage. As I was walking off the stage, something unexpected happened. People started applauding. Now, this is where I was thinking, are they making fun of me that I did not speak for 60 seconds? Or are they really appreciating me? That's when I realized that people were applauding for me being courageous enough to go on stage, stand there for 60 seconds, face the audience, and walk back. And this is when I met Raja. Raja is one person who eventually became my mentor and my good friend. And today he's one of the most popular stand up comedians in Hyderabad. His name is Rajshekhar Mamidana. He said, Rajesh, keep coming, keep trying. Eventually, you'll talk. You'll talk for 60 seconds and you'll be good at it. So the next subsequent week, I attended the meeting again, thinking that I would speak about my coffee, speak about my childhood experience, and talk all about coffee and impress the audience. Guess what? This time, the topic changed. The topic was, Rajesh, what do you think of the economy of India? Again, I froze for 60 seconds, looked at the green card, walked off the stage, and all I could hear is an applause. I did not know the topics keep changing every time that you walk on the stage. This time, Raja gave me an advice. Good attempt, Rajesh. Good start. I thought you wouldn't come, but you were courageous enough that you came to the meeting. I hope it's not the coffee that excited you this time. It wasn't the coffee. It was the kind of excitement that I wanted to go on stage and talk. So for the next 6 weeks, I kept on doing this, attending the meetings, and eventually on the sixth meeting, when the topic was Rajesh, what do you think about four-wheelers in India? That's when my thoughts came out in the form of words, and I spoke and I spoke and I overshot the time. I spoke for 3.5 minutes about cars. Now, this was how I began my journey of speaking in public without being thinking that what people would think. I have a question for you all. What do you think happened in these 6 weeks? No, this is not a table topic. I'm just asking for a word here.
A lot of self-talk.
A lot of self talk. Okay, great.
Never give up attitude.
Never give up attitude. Just to let you know, I was 22 during this time. So I was not that mature to think about motivating myself or encouraging myself. But yes, a lot of self talk. I thought, what would go wrong? What can go wrong? It's okay if people judge me. And this is the beauty of Toastmasters, that this is a fail safe platform that doesn't judge you and lets you to be yourself and not being judgmental about it. And one key element that my mentor added was you have to be consistent. And I was consistently attending all the 6 weeks meetings and trying to see how people were able to talk for so long on any given topic. And I observed that they were just sharing their thoughts. So being consistent is what I learned during the 6 weeks timeline for making me speak in front of an audience on any given topic. So if you're all wondering, Rajesh, in the last 10 years, what have you achieved? I would say not much. I'm not a distinguished Toastmaster. I have probably completed two pathways while I see people with 3 years experience completing three, four, five pathways. I have not won any district level conference. Now I'm actually downplaying myself by thinking that, okay, Rajesh, why did you come here and talk about Toastmasters? But what I felt realized is at Toastmasters in the last 7 to 8 years, I have been consistently attending the club meetings. That consistency is what has made me better than what I was 7 years ago. Now I'm drawing a parallel here. We spoke about table topics. Now let me switch to a professional platform. I joined as an intern in an organization called as Synopsys in Hyderabad, which was predominantly an electronics automation company. This is where I started my Toastmasters journey as well while I was interning there. I was asked to talk about one small project which I worked in front of my team. Pure technical, no challenges, known people, and it's all technical. So there's not much of a prep required because I am the one who did it. The presentation went for 25 minutes. And while I walked out of the presentation, I realized that my entire formal shirt had sweat patches all around it. Now, this was in an auditorium which was at 21 degrees Celsius with good amount of ventilation where you don't even sweat. And I realized that I tend to become extremely nervous while talking in front of an audience, even though I know them. And this was unconsciously happening. I thought I was good at it. Now, when I spoke to my manager, Jayanti, I see that I'm able to deliver a presentation, but there is a lot in the background that's happening. There is a lot of fear in the form of sweat that comes out after the session. And I also see that I fumble and use a lot of filler words, which eventually dilutes my impact of my presentation. And that's when she said, Rajesh, why don't you attend Toastmasters as a guest and see how you can overcome this unconscious fear and overcome your whole barricade that you are not that great. So this is how my Toastmasters journey started. And after the 6 weeks of making progression from unable to speak in front of an audience, after speaking for 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes about cars, I realized that I had to be consistently facing an unknown audience and speaking, whether it makes sense or not. Now, let me open up for a few more questions to all of you, especially for the two folks who joined recently. May I have your raise of my hands? I see Krishnadas here. So, Krishnadas, have you delivered your icebreaker yet?
I did, Rajesh. I have done that.
Great. How was your experience when you delivered your first speech in front of an audience?
I was nervous, but I was trying my level best to not to show it in my face.
Great. Did you go through a review with your mentor? Did you work on it? Did you practice well?
I did give my script to the mentor, and
Great.
she did review that and given the feedback. I practiced it, but one thing I have noticed is I'm very bad at by hearting any scripts.
Thanks, Krishna. So here again from Krishna, we can learn one more aspect is for the first 3 years, I did not have a mentor. And that was the soup that I'm talking. I was in a soup and I didn't know how to get out of it. For all of you, remember that at Toastmasters, the moment you join your club would offer your mentor, say that, hey, this is your buddy who will be helping out with you for the entire program. Work with him or her and see how you can go through your journey, become a better speaker, better leader, or better aspect of whatever skill that you're working on. The mentor would guide you. And this mentor can actually transform you or speed up your whole learning curve that you seek out for at Toastmasters. For all of you who do not have mentors, please, immediately after the meeting, reach out to your vice president education of your club. Ask for a mentor immediately because a mentor makes a lot of difference. For me, I could see the difference myself. So through this episode of First Coffee with Raja, how I encountered Toastmasters through the cup of coffee that I had, I learned that being consistent at your Toastmasters meeting or whatever you do, you become better than what you were yesterday. Second, do not worry about what people think about you and what you speak. It's irrelevant. You are here to compete with yourself. The third and the most crucial aspect is be it Toastmasters or be it your professional career, always have a mentor who will always make sure that he or she is a beaming light and making sure that you have your learning curve at the best possible rate that you can. So, this formally concludes the first episode of our journey today, and I hope you enjoyed it. The second episode is what I call it as a Hindi song that I remember from my childhood. The song goes by this: मुझे ना कहना नहीं आता, किसी का दिल बहकाया नहीं जाता. In translation, I don't know how to say no, nor I don't know how to hurt others. Now, it's a pretty long title that I give you, but I'll tell you why. How many of you are in a state of an individual contributor role over here? When I say individual contributor, there's nobody reporting to you. You work by yourself. There's a task assigned to you. Great. I see 2 hands being raised, at least on my screen. Now, the second question is how many of you are at a leadership role? Okay, I see Richa on the screen, so I'm asking Richa a question right away. So, Richa, how long have you been in a leadership role? I see Simab also raising her hand. So, Simab, my next question will be for you.
1.5 years.
1.5 years. And how many? What's the size of your team that reports to you?
Around 10 to 15 people.
Wow, that's quite a large team that you have, Richa. So, what on a daily basis, what is the challenge that you face while working with such a large team? For me, it's a large team. 10 to 15 is a very large team.
It could be one delegating task, making sure that people, if they are stuck, they do get help. The third is assigning the right task to the right people, making sure that the task is not really too easy for them or too tough for them. There's something which slight challenge and they can do it. Mostly this, and then when people have a lot of questions, managing my own time to make sure I can help all of them out. So yeah.
Wow. So you have to identify the strengths and weakness of your team and assign the task appropriately. That's the challenge that you mentioned
Yeah.
about assigning the right task to the right person. And the other is time management with respect to your own work and the questions that your team has. Wow. Okay, that's quite a complex challenge that you have. Thanks, Risha, for sharing. Can we also have Simab share a few aspects about what are the challenges that she faces as a leader? Simab, we can't hear you, though you're unmuted. Okay, we'll probably reach out to Simab once again. Anyone else in the leadership role wants to share one challenge that they face?
It's about managing different personalities and their expectations.
Wow. So managing different type of people, it's
Yes.
not always easy, and also their expectations. Okay, that's more of a planning aspect also in terms of your career planning. Amazing. Thanks, Krishna. So I'll tell you a story again, going back to the time of my Toastmasters journey and in general, how I transitioned from an individual contributor to becoming a mentor. It's not a big leadership tag as such. So this was a time where I became a full-time employee at Synopsys Hyderabad, and I had gathered some courage and experience to understand how things work in my organization. To make my things work difficult, the team hired an intern. And to make things even more difficult, the intern was of the opposite gender. She was cute and was quite confident, unlike me. There were projects assigned to me where the idea was to assign a few tasks to her and few tasks to myself and work together. And I was supposed to share feedback and progress that she was making on a weekly basis to my manager. Now, given that I said I don't know how to say no or not hurt others' feelings, the intern was smart. Whenever she had a problem, the problem was given to me and I used to sit and solve rather than helping her to solve the problem. Whenever she took a day off, her work would fall onto my plate and I would end up executing it. I did not have the courage to say or give a feedback to her on, hey, this is not how things work. When a deadline is set, this is how it is set. Here again, I reached out to my manager and asked, Jayanti, I'm having trouble expressing my feedback to her. Though she's an intern, there is a hierarchy. I still fear that I would offend her. My manager says that seek help at Toastmasters. Like, Jayanti, how can Toastmasters help me? She makes me the sergeant at arms of the club. Now, if you're wondering, Rajesh, how does sergeant at arms work? Folks, sergeant at arms is one of the most powerful roles at a Toastmasters meeting, especially if you're talking about an in-person meeting. He or she has the capacity to let anyone in or out of a meeting at his own will. He or she has the capacity to let anyone being kicked out of the meeting for any misconduct. He or she has the power to conduct the meeting in a setup, the meeting room right before the meeting and make sure that everything is organized. So a sergeant at arm kind of learns organizing skills, also learns how to be strong enough to say someone no, which was probably my weakest link of saying no to someone. While I was doing the role of sergeant at arms, a certain amount of confidence that I built in, parallelly, I started seeking speech evaluation roles. Now, speech evaluation roles are something which help you to convey a certain feedback in a constructive way. Now, it's not like, hey, your speech was bad. I did not understand anything. कहना क्या चाहते हो? Or rather, what do you want to say? You did not use body language or vocal variety. Now, this is not how a typical evaluation would work like. And I learned that letting the speaker know what went well, why it went well, or what did not go well, how it can be done well in building up a critical or a constructive feedback in a motivating way. So becoming an effective evaluator, become the sergeant at arms of the club, helped me understand what it takes to convey a feedback or standing on your ground and saying no to someone. And eventually, I learned to convey my feedback to the intern and saying that this is the deadline. I need it by then. If there is any problem, we'll work it out together, but this is your responsibility. It took me it took me 6 months to transition for someone who's unable to say no to finally say no to someone. And this is my story of मुझे ना कहना नहीं आता, किसी का दिल बहका नहीं जाता. Now, the journey did not stop here. From Sergeant at Arms, I took up role of secretary and learned how to write beautiful meeting minutes. Now, all of you who are looking up to become good writers or want to improve on your writing skills while you're working on your speeches, trust me, secretary is one of the best roles that can give you the opportunity to do that. Look at other clubs, minutes of meetings, or their posters or their post meeting write ups. You learn a lot of things. For me, I'm not showcasing a club, but there is a sister club from our Connect or something that we have called as Wipro House of Speakers, who's known to generate beautiful meeting minutes, especially the post meeting minutes, where they summarize what happened in the meeting, who just not the best speaker or role player, but also what each table topic speaker spoke about. And that caught my eye, and I took up the secretary role at Intel Talk Masters after 7 years again. So I find this a role which gives you the aspect of creativity, working on your writing skills, and also showcasing your club externally as well. It's just not the VPPR. Now that I mentioned VPPR, Rajesh was predominantly an introvert who couldn't mingle with others. I say an introvert because I was not someone who was able to easily connect with strangers, have the first conversation. I would always be the listener. Now, vice president, public relation is a role where you're expected to be more vocal about yourself. Hey, go connect. Hey, I'm Rajesh from Intel Talk Masters. This is my club, and this is when we meet. Can we have you guys come over our club sometime? So you have to go publicize your club, showcase your club. So I tried my hands being a VPPR. I wasn't that great, but it did break my shell of being an introvert and trying to be a bit ambivert. So through Toastmasters, through these 7 club officers roles, you can explore plethora of other skills, being the vice president of education, president, treasurer, money management, whatnot. Connect with your club leaders today, all the 7 officers. Ask them what is that one challenge or one skill that they are learning through these roles. And don't stop yourself from being an associate and trying to shadow them through your journey at Toastmasters. So, in an essence, Toastmasters gave me a platform to be an amazing public speaker. At least that's what I feel. To some extent, a decent mentor. I wouldn't call myself a leader yet, though I've tried my hands. I've seen far better leaders sitting in front of me right now and watching me speak about leadership. But I've become a better leader than what I could actually imagine, and that's all credit to Toastmasters. So, in summary, for the second chapter, what is it that we want to remember? Try out and understand what the 7 club officers can give you in terms of the skill set. Do not underestimate the power of a sergeant at arms. Trust me, one of the most strongest roles that I've seen in our club today. Connect with all your leaders, understand what is that one skill set that they're learning from their role and what is it that they can give it to you if you were to become an associate. Go beyond your club, look at how things other clubs are doing, bring it to your club or take your best practices from your club and go take it outside. For the first 3 years, I did not go beyond my club, and that has been my biggest regret. So today, after this meeting, or reach out to all your WhatsApp groups, see where the clubs are meeting. If it fits in your timeline, go attend the club and see how differently things are done. Now, these are the 2 chapters. These are 2 essence of Toastmasters. One is public speaking and leadership that I want to convey through the keynote today. I hope you have something to take away. And now I open up for Q&A session. Thank you, Krishna, for holding that green card for such a long time.
Thank you, Rajesh. Yes, now the floor is open. Anyone has any questions? If not about Toastmasters, anything that is troubling them in their professional life as well. If you are not able to put your ideas across in a one-on-one, whatever comes to your mind, what do you do? Yeah, Krishna, I see you have unmuted yourself.
Rajesh, just one question. To be honest with you, I have this fear of public speaking that predominantly came from my earlier experience while I was working in a call center.
Okay.
What happened is some of the people reactions when you take a phone call will put you off. And I know subconsciously that's haunting me. And that's
Wow.
where I get nervous because I get this hidden subconscious pictures when I speak. So I know the problem, and that's the root cause of it.
Got it.
And no matter what I do, how much well I can speak, and I still have this persistently inherited in me, and it continues. I tried a lot of mechanisms, and Toastmaster is one, right? And it's not going out. So, what is your thought process? Have you find anything of that sort when you mentioned about your fear of public speaking?
So Krishna, yours is a different. There are two problem statements. One, talking about public speaking. The one that you mentioned is fairly an interpersonal skill where you're talking one on one with another person. This is, yes, I get it. There is a certain emotion being conveyed from the other person and that's impacting you. This is normal. This is human. It is absolutely fine. Now, it's not easy to create a filter saying that this is something professional. I don't have to get affected with the other person's responses. It's not easy. Over time, you have to create that barrier. Otherwise, you will be emotionally down. This will impact you. Now, I don't have an answer for the interpersonal skill for you as of now, Krishna, because creating that barrier has to come through you only. You have to be more strong enough. Okay, the other person might have had a bad day. They are just expressing their emotions to you, and that's impacting you over time. You'll have to get over it. I might give you a tip if it's a public speaking environment where you're in an audience, especially if you're delivering a humorous speech and none of your jokes are falling. Again, a small tip: if your humorous speech doesn't work, make it an ISE or an international speech contest speech. Not everybody gets your jokes. Jokes are extremely subjective. Some might get it, some might not get it. Even when you're trying to deliver a speech which has a strong punchline, you expect the audience to go oh or have an emotion on them. It doesn't work out. The only way to get over this is consistently deliver the same speech across different clubs. Get an evaluation from your evaluator. The evaluator might have a different perspective. Krishna, I think your vocal variety is not that good, or your body language needs to be more stronger when you're conveying your emotions. So again, going back to the first step, consistency. Keep attending your club meetings. Keep delivering it. You will become so unaffected by how the audience sometimes react to you. There'll be one or two people who will not laugh at any of your jokes or who will not respond to any of your content, but there'll be remaining folks who are looking at you, who are engaged by your speech. So think about folks who are actually enjoying it. So this is again, I'm saying, take the maximum stage time, be consistent. There's no replacement for the experience that you spend on stage time.
Thank you, Rajesh. I will do the same.
Rajesh, we have a question in the chat window by Sima. I think she had a problem with unmuting herself. So her question is, my biggest challenge has been getting things done upfront by the team. Often see delays, which leads to sloppy work when deadlines approach. I think Simab is talking on behalf of all of us. So yes,
I
over to
hope
you, Rajesh.
Simab is not. I hope Simab is not asking about her challenges as a division director or her past challenges as an area director. I don't have an answer for that. But the challenge is very realistic. This is something that we see a lot of times when you have a large team and you've distributed your responsibilities on each of them. Now, I'm not a software engineer, but this is something that I've seen in software engineering. They follow something called as sprint or something even called as the agile methodology. I might not be using the right terms in it. So what they do is they set up certain milestones or shorter goals in terms of deadlines. Say you have a project that's 3 month long or a 2 month long, have a weekly sync up with everyone, see where everybody's heading. If you see that they're making good progress, nothing to be worried. If you see that within a week, whatever task was assigned was not completed, reach out. If you see that the resources are not sufficient, add more people if that's an option. Otherwise, see that we can extend the deadline by a few days and work it out. Again, when it comes to corporate, not always you have a scenario where you can add a resource or work on a deadline, but at least to know the problem up front, it'll help at least raise the flags up front, saying that, hey, we have an issue, we are raising it up front. I know nothing can be done, but please help. So this is something that I've seen in the software industry being implemented. We've also at our company on our team tried to put it up into ourselves, and we started following this system called as Jira, not the eating wala Jira, but Atlassian makes this software called as JIRA, where you can assign tasks and keep tracking it. So this is a small miniature tracker. So that helped us. And even here right now, while working with the PQD office, Madhu does the same. If he assigns a task and says the deadline 10th day, third day would reach out, has the work started? Fifth day, any progress? Seventh day, any concerns? So there is a distributed way of reaching out. Again, you don't want to micromanage every day asking for an update. That doesn't help, because that means that you don't have a trust on your team. So reach out in a distributed fashion, and that also helps you to be on top of things. I hope that does some justice to Simab's question. I'm sure Simab has an answer. She's just testing me right now.
Yeah, sure. She's a very talented Toastmaster herself. I see Himanshu has raised her hand. And of course, after that, I'll come to you, Richa. Yeah, Himanshu,
So
go
I
for it.
have one question related to content and one question related to delivery. So on content, when I'm trying to write my icebreaker speech, I've sat down many times and I've come back with nothing. Where I feel that there's just so many directions I can go to,
Brilliant.
and what do I really do? That's the first part. Second part is when I deliver, I've noticed myself, I don't take pauses, and sometimes it comes from the thought that I will forget what I'm trying to say and I will lose my chain of thoughts.
Okay, great. Thanks, Himanshu. So one is content and delivery. For delivery, the answer is straightforward, but let me first address the content part. So again, going back to the tips from Raja. So Raja, whenever he does a session on table topics, he has given us tips about how to face table topics. Given your speech, even table topics, it's the same problem. When a table topic is given to you, there are so many thoughts that are running in your mind, and you lose it. So the tip that Raja gave me was, Rajesh, whenever a table topic is given to you, hear it carefully, hold on for 5 seconds, and first thought that you get, the first thought, not second, not third, hold on to your first thought. It is not easy, but hold on to your first thought. The first thought would have come because somewhere deep inside your mind, subconscious mind, there is an incident, there is a story, or there is something that's relevant to the topic, and that first thought would have popped up. The moment I say success, for me, it'll be waking up at 5:30 a.m. early in the morning for the last 6 months. That for me today is success. It's not something, again, I'm just giving you an example. So any topic that's given, hold on to your first thought and try to build your speech on the first thought. So icebreaker, Himanshu, that's a different problem statement. But level two, one, as you keep progressing, there are certain objectives that are given in your speeches that might trigger a thought. Now coming to your icebreaker, so many thoughts, I would say, prioritize. What is it that you have on your priority list? So 3 or 4 incidents of your life, you can prioritize them and put it in your speech. Now if you have challenge prioritizing, sit with your mentor, let the mentor figure out what he or she feels from your speech's content as priority or impactful. They might help you. Quickly moving to delivery, there is again the same answer: keep practicing. Forgetting the speech is absolutely fine. Even for your icebreaker, you're allowed to carry your piece of paper. You can read it out from your piece of paper, but it's because it's okay. This is your first speech and you might forget. Only through practice, only through feedback, and only through review, you can work on and remember your speech. So don't remember the speech word to word. Usually I have a event flow. How do I start? Opening, body, and conclusion. So a few bullet points is what I remember, and I remember the stories behind it. Your speeches would be your stories, Himanshu, trust me. So there would be no other person better than you sharing the stories. So don't worry about forgetting. When you practice, when you have your own personal stories, you'll not forget for sure.
Got it. Got it.
Thanks, Himanshu. Moving on, Richa, you want to quickly? So we'll go with just 2 more questions, Richa and then Richard.
Okay, I had two, but I think Rajesh answered the first one, the TT one, right? Maybe if you want to add anything more, you are free to add. My question was, you said you were not able to speak on TT when you started, and now you have contested at the district level. So,
Not one though.
no,
Yeah. I've not won. I've not won. I've
I
won
know,
the
but you've
district.
contested, right? So that I know. So what's the secret sauce of it? What's the secret behind this? That's the
So
first. The second question that I have is you have had a long career, not just professionally in your Toastmasters journey as well, right? 122 months. So, and you mentioned having a mentor. Have you always found a mentor within your club? Or have you sought mentor outside your club? If you have sought it outside, how is it that you have when you realize that you have to change, and how do you find that mentor outside your club? Because that's a challenge which I am facing currently, and I'm sure a lot of us will be facing going ahead as well. So yeah.
got it. Okay. Good questions. Great questions. I'll try my best to answer in 2 minutes. The first question was about contest, the table topics contest. It took me 8.5 years to go to district level. So it was again, I was being consistent. And what I learned from Raja is most of the times when you go on stage, everybody has an opinion and they share it on the table topics. What I started doing is trying to do something called as hatke. Hatke in the sense trying to bring out a totally different perspective on the topic. So when I came for my area division contest for the whole sequence of district contest, the topic was change is the only constant. The topic was change is the only constant. Now for me personally, I hate change. I'm someone, I want things to be like that. I don't want my friends getting married. I don't want my friends leaving. I want to have the same set of friends with me playing games or whatever the setup is. I do not like change. So I started off this top speech by saying that I hate change. And whoever created this statement saying that change is the only constant, I would want to hang him upside down and kill him. If ever their change was existed, I would use the differential equation, make that change to zero. So I started off my speech by saying that this is how from childhood I was not so open with change, and eventually life hit me and I realized that I have to accept change. So I gave them a kind of a creative perspective about whole aspect of change, and eventually how change is the only constant is what I told. So we have a tendency to share a story, we have a tendency to take an opinion, but you will only stand out from the rest when you give them a different perspective, and that perspective has to be a bit creative. So that's what I learned, that over the past few years, not just giving your opinion but giving a different perspective where the audience is like, wow, that was interesting, but yet the essence is still the same. Trust me, it's an opinion given but in a different way. So give it a thought. I think Suparna from our division director has started this new campaign to practice table topics through a WhatsApp group. If you're interested, I'll see if I can connect you with her. Yeah. And answering your second question is about the career and Toastmasters journey about
Mentor,
mentoring.
mentor in
Mentor. Yeah.
Toastmasters. Yeah.
So Raja was my first mentor. Today we are no more like mentor-mentee relationship. We've become good friends, and I don't seek any mentoring from him right now. He was my mentor in terms of Toastmasters journey. Now, when it comes to specifics of, hey, writing a humorous speech, writing a speech for ISC, table topics, evaluation, I sought out mentors wherever I felt. I looked at their evaluation. Oh, this is a brilliant evaluation. I would go personally connect with them. Hey, can you be my mentor? Sometimes it works. Sometimes they would say, no, I don't have bandwidth. So I sought mentors mostly outside my club, because my club back then had only 8 members and I was the most senior most member over there because my manager had left and things weren't great. Ideally, your club would be the right place for you to seek mentors. But if you feel that I want to go beyond my club, go outside, reach out to people. If you have seen someone do amazingly well, nothing wrong in saying that, can you be my mentor? So last year, I reached out to our current area director. Her name is Rupa Vidya. She's a young Toastmaster, but she's an area director today. She was the podium finisher at evaluation contest. I went and asked her, can you be my mentor? And she said yes. So you never know. You might find your mentor at your next linkers meet, somebody doing an evaluation in your club. Nothing wrong in that. So seek out mentors wherever you feel that, hey, that's something that I would want to learn from them.
Sure, let's quickly go to Richard. And I think Ramesh is also raising his hand since a very long time. So very quickly, because we have TT section as well. So Richard, quickly ask your question and Ramesh, be ready next. Do we have Richard?
Richard, you are in mute.
Yeah.
Good morning, Ramesh. I will keep it very brief. It's very easy to give feedback when you're in an organization because they're working under you. But how do you give feedback? Let's say in a Toastmasters, you're leading a group of people, right? Now, good feedback anybody can give, evaluation anybody can give. But giving feedback when something is not right, or how do you deal with that? Is my question.
It's a very good question, Richard. So, Richard, when you say giving evaluation is easy, giving feedback in an organization, trust me, it isn't easy as well. But I get where you're heading here. So, when you give a speech evaluation, your intent is to have something for the speaker to work on and eventually make the speaker a better speaker tomorrow. Now, when you're talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about club and club leaders where you have to give a certain feedback.
Correct.
So the intent is same. Now, intent gain that, hey, I want to help you. I'm sharing a certain feedback with an intent that it impacts you, it helps you, and also overall the functionality of the club. Now, it also depends on the way you say it. You cannot upfront go say that you're doing a terrible job. Have data points. Have data points maybe from your past experiences or observations that you made where you felt that there would be a scope of improvement. Let them know why this is important. Now, if the club is meeting at 10 o'clock, but the club's meeting does not start at 10 o'clock, it's starting at 10:10, that's a concern. You can straight away say that I've been observing the last 3 or 4 meetings that we are starting the meeting late. And this is not something we've been doing anything about, and it's unnecessarily wasting 10 minutes of all of our time. You have 9 people, 9 into 10, and 90 minutes. Okay, I'm doing a lot of math here. You can go back and say that, hey, can we meet 10 minutes early so that we can have the meeting on time and have everything in place? Make sure that we don't have the role players being falling out and reaching out to them. So have your data points, let them know why this is a problem, and see if you have a solution. You can give a solution, nothing wrong in that. But if you don't know also, can we work together to make this sorted? So it's all about how you convey it, Richard. So it's, for me, it's very similar to evaluation where you're conveying a feedback, but why and how part is also very important.
Okay. Got it, Rajesh. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Richard. Again, you have amazing set of leaders within your club. Please do reach out to them. They probably might have better answers.
Thank you. Ramesh, you want to go next?
Yeah, Rajesh. See, I have
Yeah,
one question here. Like, whenever I go to write a script for the speech, many times I will go out of thoughts. So many things, like whenever we are going to write the speech related to the topic, so that particularly might not happen in our life. So we have to pick from some other's life or pick from some other books. We have to plug in and we have to collide everything and make a speech. So in that case, what we have to do?
got it. So I can give you two answers here, Ramesh. The question is, I'll rephrase it. I run out of ideas from my own life. How do I get it from? Do I go outside? Do I look at others' life, books or whatever? What's the source? How do I do it? So Ramesh, first answer is, again, this is my learning from a pathway called as engaging humor. In engaging humor, there would be scenarios where we are given a scenario randomly and asked to talk on it in a humorous way or engaging the audience. So we were given a small tool called as storybook. Storybook. Now the storybook had collection of stories that we could fill in any time that we felt that, hey, this is a nice idea, I want to write it down. So what you can do is, irrespective whether you're going to deliver a speech or not, there might be some incident that has happened in your life or something that you see on the road that triggers an idea for you. Hey, this can be my next speech. How? So you can start writing some ideas on your notebook. It need not be a full-fledged speech. Or for me today, road rage is a topic that I want to talk. I don't have a speech ready, but road rage, I have a few ideas where I have myself had few road rage moments on the road. I want to put it down on a piece of paper and see that tomorrow, if there is an opportunity, I can build a story out of it. So this storybook can be a compilation of topics or ideas or thoughts that you have, which are not yet full-fledged speeches, but can be built on. That is one solution. The second thing, which I don't practice, but I'll share it from my friends' learnings. I am not an avid reader. When I say an avid reader, I don't read books at all. The last proper book was Introduction to Physics by H.C. Verma. That was the book that I've read. And I to some extent regret that I have not practice this habit of book reading because my wife reads a lot of books. If you have the habit of reading books, there is a lot of inspiration that you can take. I say inspiration with bold quotes on it because you don't want to copy it. Now, the best example is Wings of Fire by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, where he inspires a lot of us budding engineers or budding youths right now. And that inspiration can lead to a story. You can say that in that book, I read a episode or a chapter where Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam says, so you can bring in certain snippets from the book, share it with the audience for a larger good, and say that how you also have practiced it. So you can do a connect of it. So see if you can read books, read articles, watch videos and take inspiration also. As long as you're quoting them, you're good to do that. Again, personally, I don't read books, so I'm just sharing it from my friend's experience here.
Thank you so much. Anyone, last question. Anything that's troubling you inside and you were not able to, just one last question and then we'll go wrap it up.
I can go if no one else has.
Go
I
ahead.
see a hand
Okay,
too.
I see Kavita. Richa, can we just
Yes,
ask
yes,
Kavita?
that's fine. Let Kavita go. Yeah.
Sure. Kavita, go for it.
Yeah, hi Rajesh. I have one question. So since we are doing multitasking at times, generally I do multitask, like multitasking in the sense not many tasks at the same time, but we have parallel responsibilities to shine up, be it kids exams or Toastmaster or being a leader. You have to grow your team and you have to meet the deadlines or being the household words. So whenever we do multitasking, I feel that at some point of time, I'm not able to give my best in something. For example, for in Toastmasters, I have last test for last 2 3 months. I haven't. I was not consistent, so I felt that I lost somewhere, and I'm not able to get back to that. So similarly, couple more tasks also in pipeline. I'm able to excel in some task always, but I'm not able to excel in something always. So whenever we lose something, I lose
How do we
interest
get?
or else I'm not able to get back to that track. So what should we do in that case?
This is a tough question, Kavita, but I'll try. So here, thanks to Toastmasters, it's a self-paced program, as it says. You need not really have a deadline for yourself saying that, hey, you have to finish your pathway in so many days. But I understand where you're coming from, that sometimes there are too many things on my plate. Trust me, for me, my personal life is first, my professional life, and then Toastmasters. Now, though I say I've finished 10 years at Toastmasters, there would have been phases in Toastmasters where for a month, month and a half, I wouldn't have attended any meetings. Maybe at that time, I was needed more at home, more at work. I could not do it. It's absolutely fine. Now, during this break time or a breather time that I would like to call, sometimes an overdose of anything is not good. So when you take a break and when you come back, you again start from ground. It is difficult to motivate yourself, but trust me, it would take a meeting or two for you to get back to what you were before, and you'll start enjoying the same learning phase. So for you to really give you a management technique, I have learned from my manager that there is a graph that we draw. It's four quadrants, where important, urgent, urgent, not important, urgent, important, not urgent, not important. So these are the four categories of tasks that I would say put it over there. And I'm sure Toastmasters is important but not urgent. It's important but not urgent is what I would say, as long as you've not taken up leadership roles like others in your club. So it's okay. It's not something that you will catch up immediately. So give yourself a meeting or two to have that recoup time, and you will find your learning back again. So trust the system, it'll work.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kavita. I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Awesome. So I think that let's wrap up the Q&A, and the contact number of Rajesh is broadcasted in our member group. Feel free to bombard him with all your questions because he's a gem of a person himself. He will for sure answer each one of your questions. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajesh. It's always a pleasure to hear you, and we are really, really indebted to have you as a keynote speaker in our open house session. So much to learn. I love the way that you emphasized how important every club officer role is in a club, because coming January, a new XCOM will come into the picture for our club as well. So I hope our members are motivated to take up the club officer roles going forward. How to ace the table topics also. Keep at it, keep consistent. I think that's the message for all of you from Rajesh. Thanks a lot. And now I would hand over the stage, the virtual stage, to our table topic master, Toastmaster Richa, DTM Richa, a freshly minted DTM that she is, to take it forward with the table topic section. Over to you, DTM Richa.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajesh, for that wonderful keynote session. I'm sure a lot of us have many more questions, as do I. If I start bombarding you, you'll possibly take 10 days to respond to my questions, the number of those that I have as of now. However, it was so insightful, and I think I got a lot of points which I can work on for a while. So thank you so much for that wonderful session. And we are now into the table topics segment. And as most of you already know, it is the session where I, as the table topics master, will be giving you a topic and you have to speak on it for 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute is where our timer, Toastmaster Krishnadas, will be sharing the green card, 1.5 minutes, the yellow card, and 2 minutes, the red card. That's the timing. So make sure you keep a look at his eye on his video and take care of the time. Do not speak for less than 1 minute. Do not go beyond 2.5 minutes. You'll get 30 seconds after the red card to wrap up. So that's the timing rule in general. And as our keynote speaker of the day told, try and hold on to your first thought and try and be hatke or a little creative. Let's see how each of the table topics are very simple today. Who's going to be the first volunteer? Toastmaster Himanshu. I know Toastmaster Krishnadas, you are in line. We'll go to you. Toastmaster Himanshu, your question is, a friend you can't imagine your life without.
Oh, that's an easy one. So I have a very good friend of mine called Chandrasekhar. He and me both studied in the same college. We were not friends in college. We were part of a separate group of friends. After almost 8 years post MBA, we were working in separate companies. I reached out to him for some help while I was seeking some job opportunities. And he not only referred me, but he went out of his way to kind of drive my selection and expedite the process. Since then, there have been so many instances where I have helped him get into a different role, and we have worked in the same team together. We share a lot of laughs about each and everything. I think maybe our wives call that either we are the first wives of each other and or the second wives, but we spend a lot of time talking about the stuff that we are facing in office, and a lot of humor around it. Right now he's actually traveling in Indonesia, and still I'm having a daily call with him in the evening, where I'm sure his wife would be probably too bugged to kind of talk about it. But yeah, I think the friendship has been bonded in such a manner that I've always found him to be very helpful. Whenever I am in need, he'll the first person I will dial. And similarly, I believe he calls me often related to his own situation. We meet once a week. On weekend, we kind of dine together, at least one meal, and that's how the experience and the bonding has evolved over a lot of period of time. I do consider that one friend is equal to 10 friends, if that is the level of bonding that you can kind of arrive to. I'm sure that I will continue to be friends with him over my lifetime. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Himanshu, a friend who doesn't just celebrate your success but contributes to it is a friend indeed, and you should never let that friendship go. Who's going to be the next volunteer? Toastmaster Krishnas, you want to go? I see Nivedita raising hand.
Let Nivedita go first, Richa, please.
Nivedita, you want to come on screen? Yes. So your table topics for today is If you received $1,000 and you had to spend it today, what would you buy? You have to spend it today.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can only think about trading. Well, I mean, like, this is very close to my heart now because so I've started learning stocks trading, and also I would first convert that to INR. And I have a mentor who can actually suggest me with good stocks and all. So I would segregate that into short term, medium, and long term. Maybe good sum of the amount, or 70% of it I would put it in long term, so that like I get um huge returns for my kids in the future. Maybe remaining 30% I would split that again into small and medium term, and maybe like for our temporary satisfaction, whatever we want, we can invest and buy that in future. So yeah, I mean, like, we have good stocks which gives around like 13 to 15% or beyond that as a return. So yeah, according to me, I feel like that's the best way to invest now.
So, Toastmaster Nivedita, that was a really hatke
Thank
answer.
you.
Just one thing. Stock markets are closed.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
we cannot.
anyways, our VP and president, please note we should invite Toastmaster Nivedita to give a session on trading in our club. And superb sense of delayed gratification over there, Toastmaster Nivedita. That's really, you made sure that you had $1,000 not just today, but in the future as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Who's our
Thank you.
next table topic speaker?
I'll go next if nobody is there.
Yes.
Richa.
So, Toastmaster Krishna Das, your topic is, which activities make you lose track of time?
The answer is quite simple, distinguished Toastmaster Richa: sleeping. Because when I actually sleep, nobody will look at the time, and I do the same as a human being. I will not look at the clock. And I would say that's the best activity to relieve stress. No matter theoretically, practically, you would say go to gym, do yoga. But if given an option that you can actually sleep, there are a lot of people who would actually take it and then go to bed. Many a times we are bombarded with activities which we feel is important to keep us on track, and we feel it is mandatory to do because that's our conscious says that's others doing. But if you wholeheartedly ask people whether you wanted to sleep, have a peaceful sleep, I'm sure that there will be a lot of people who would be agreeing with the fact that this activity will take a lot of time, but I would love to do that because there is no clock involved in that activity. So that's all. Thank you, Toastmaster Richa. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Krishnadas. Indeed, most of us are sleep deprived these days because of so much of FOMO that we have to make sure we do not miss out on. I think we all should take time out and sleep peacefully. I did the last weekend due to Karnataka Bandh, and I know how my body is telling me that I really needed those. The next volunteer, please.
I'll give a try.
Okay. Toastmaster Ramesh, your question is a movie you can watch again and why?
Many of you people know that I am the big fan of Talavar. Any movie, if you would like to say of Talavar, I can watch it again. Particularly one movie I would like to repeatedly watch, that is Badsha. That was a movie almost 20 years ago. It came into the industry, even though in any Tamil channel, if they are telecasting that movie, definitely I will stop all other works. I will sit in front of the television. I will watch complete movie. Even if you see 100 times, 200 times, no movie can match with that particular movie. The way he acted, the style, the delivery of speech, the action, the twist and turn. You cannot. Oh my God! By speaking itself, I'm getting goosebumps. I have to say this. Any தலைவர் movie, I can watch it many times. Particularly Baka, no way. If you say to watch 100 times in a day, I'll fast forward and I'll watch it for 100 days. That's a one movie I never ever wanted to miss in my life. That's it from my interest of Richa.
Oh, looks like, I think that's Shah Rukh Khan's movie, right? Yeah. No?
Rajinikanth.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I haven't watched it, so I have no clue. Probably I should go and watch it. So who's the next volunteer? Toastmaster Rajesh, would you want to try one since you are in there? Okay. Okay. So your topic is, what is the one thing you would like to change about the world?
Have you ever wondered why that we are always on the land and not on the sea? Have you ever wondered why we pay so much money to buy a piece of land? Or have you ever wondered why we aren't living like the South American island people building homes on the sea? Imagine having your home in the middle of a sea. Imagine playing football in the middle of the sea. Imagine going to a school in the middle of the sea. Imagine having a Toastmasters meeting in the middle of the sea. This is what I kept wondering for the last 20 seconds, thinking what I should say next. But hey, there would be no boundaries, there would be no fences, there would be no countries. Today, we pay a bomb for the rent that we live in a small house. We pay a large amount of money paying EMIs for 20 to 30 years for the house that we buy. But if, on the contrary, if you were to live on the sea, you need not pay anything because it's international waters. You're free to move your houses from one ocean to the other ocean, living on the coast, living on the beach. If you're a vegetarian, eating on the algae or whatever. If you're a non-vegetarian, fishing fish, having the life of your life. So if ever there was something that I wanted to change, is making living on the sea a new norm and making it sure that it's free of cost so that nobody can hype up or jack up the prices of rental income or the property that we are trying to pay today. So that's what I would like to change, Toastmaster Isha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh. Indeed, a very big change. We probably all need to grow gills to make sure we are able to survive underwater. Should we go for one more? Or should we wrap up? Wrap up? Fine. Thank you all for sharing your stories to, I think I kept it easy so that our guests could attend. However, I did not see anyone in the meeting today. So, however, the stories were really, really creative and I enjoyed all of them. With that, Toastmaster Krishnadas, can you share the timings of the speakers, TT speakers?
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Richa. So I'm going to share the timings of each of the speakers. Toastmaster Himanshu has taken 1 minute 46 seconds, well within the timelines. Toastmaster Nivedita, 1 minute 16 seconds, well within the timeline. Toastmaster Krishnadas, not well within the timelines. He has taken only 48 seconds, which is myself. Toastmaster Ramesh has taken 1 minute 7 seconds. And finally, Toastmaster Rajesh has taken 1 minute 52 seconds. One of the key observation which I am tempted to actually tell is I quite like the way Rajesh has taken the pause for 15 minutes. Something a good learning for all of us to actually think about it and then deliver it. So I think that's a good takeaway. So I'm really tempted to actually mention that here. Over to you, back to Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Richa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Krishnadas. And yes, you we are watching district finalist in action today, so I couldn't miss that opportunity to make him attempt one of our topics today. With that, please keep coming back and attempting table topics. The more you attempt, the more you improve. With that, back to you. That's all for table topic section today. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, DTM Richa. Let's give a big round of applause to all the speakers who spoke in the table topic section. Well done. Quickly, I would like to thank all of you to have come up here today and being a part of the open house session. A lot of takeaways from Toastmaster Rajesh and a lot of insights from all our table topic speakers as well. So with that, let me now hand it over to our presiding officer, VP Education, Toastmaster Ramesh, for his vote of thanks and closure of the session. Over to you, Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. What a wonderful session. I'm literally tired for laughing by asking the questions. Oh my God. It was a really more interestable session ever I had. So with that, I would like to give a vote of thanks. It's with a great pleasure and gratitude that today we got a great speaker, Toastmaster Rajesh. So we'd like to thank him. We have been truly privileged to have had an opportunity to listen his insightful and inspiring words, which have left an indelible mark on her heart and minds. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt thanks to Toastmaster Rajesh for accepting our invitation to be here with us today. Secondly, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker for gracing occasion with his presence and sharing his knowledge and wisdom with us. The speech we just heard was nothing short of extraordinary. Toastmaster Rajesh skillful work together. He gave the two different topics in which he covered all the Toastmaster process. From the table topic, from the XCOM role, how to prepare a speech, how to deliver a speech, how to evaluate. So whatever you need to understand about Toastmaster, he clearly explained in his speech. Initially, I thought I was going to give a speech for 30 minutes, but he gave a speech 45 minutes. But really, we are worried about it, like how we are going to give us this kind of a speech in our future. He is going to be our benchmark. We are going to compete with the Toastmaster Rajesh, and we are going to speak at least 1 minute more than you. That is our next motto from our club. So he has given many good things, like he told one important thing, that don't think about others without thinking what people think about you. You just go for it, try for it, consistently for trying. Definitely you will improve. So as like he told the importance of mentors, how mentors are important in our life, how we can use the mentors to develop ourselves. And second thing, he told very clearly, all the roles are equal, the equality. We are thinking that in our XCOM role, few roles are not important, but he told very clearly, yes, Sergeant Toms. Many people thought that it was a simplest role, but that was a powerful role. Secretary. So there are all the roles are equally important to run the club. That he has clearly told to everyone. So hereafter, we are not going to think in a different perspective. Next thing, oh my God, always don't stick into your club. Go out of your club. Learn many points. I couldn't list down many things. So I have to, since we are going to telecast this video in YouTube, I'm going to watch it again to take a note. So I couldn't take all the notes within his speech because I was mesmerized by his speech. So I was literally looking into speech. So I'll keep a note. On the Q&A session, he didn't hesitate to answer any question, whatever the question. Many people asked question out of the syllabus, like out of the topics, but he covered all the answers. What a thought, what a experience, what a insightful he has about Toastmaster. Really, it was a great thing. But he has provided a first perspective about Toastmaster, deeper understanding of importance of public speaking, and it was truly infectious. I would like to extend our appreciation to Toastmaster Ritika, our area director, for involved in making this event reality. Your hard work and dedication have undoubtedly contributed to its success. At last, to our attentive club members and guests, thank you for your active participation and engagement throughout the talk. Your thoughtful questions and enthusiasm for learning enriched the experience for all of us. As we leave here today, let us carry with the valuable insight and inspiration we have gained from our speakers' words. Let's be catalysts for a positive change in our lives and work. With this, I'm declaring the meeting is closed. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Rajesh, for your wonderful speech and session. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you
That
so
was
much,
really
everybody.
informative session.
Thanks, folks. Again, your club has significantly seasoned Toastmasters. And any one of you would have done far more better job than me, but it was an honor to be here and talk in front of you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good,
you so much.
have a good long weekend.
Thank
And
Long
you.
weekend.
go about what
Yeah,
all you've
you
heard from Rajesh.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See you
you,
guys.
everyone.
Richa, I've
Bye-bye.
shared the movie link for
I
you.
saw
Just
that.
a
That's why I'm
reference.
laughing.
See you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.